Smoking through it all, cause nothing in life lasts forever. We don't want these hoes, don't want the fame, we want the cheddar. Told her we can have it all if we do it together. You know I'ma pass the ball, but only to my brother. You know I'ma pass the blunt, but only to my sister. I'ma pass the bottle, pass these hoes off to my niggas.
It ain't exclusive if it ain't an Emlyn exclusive. It's your boy BQ, and welcome to the Low Key Facts Podcast. We're in the beautiful downtown San Jose, 408 Silicon Valley, and I'm accompanied by an individual who's been doing producing. He's a very big fan of music, a DJ, video host for reactions of hip-hop songs all over the culture in Silicon Valley, San Jose, Northern California, Bay Area. And I'm pretty sure he's, reviewed other artists outside of this geographic. But he goes by the name of Infinite. What's going down, brother? How you doing?
Bro, I'm feeling blessed.
Blessed, man.
I'm blessed to have the opportunity to be on a podcast with you. Honored that I'm just here. You know what I mean?
Hell
And
yeah.
that I've done so much work that my time is being valued here, and that's
Hell
something
yeah.
I genuinely appreciate. So
Most
thank you.
def, most def, bro. I mean, hard work is hard to look past. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like when you see someone that you like, not saying you for scenario, but like people in the world, when you see someone doing their thing, and let's just say someone you dislike for whatever matter, right? But if you see them putting in work, they're doing everything they need to do to go that long route, that marathon, and you may not respect them for whatever reason, but you respect their work ethic. You respect what they're willing to do. So that in this scenario, like I see what you're doing, and I see that you're trying to make a name for yourself, and you're most importantly, you're uplifting other people that are creating dope ass shit. And you're doing it in forms of like reacting to their videos and their songs and actually giving them the time of the day, which a lot of artists, they have a lot of challenges when it comes to striving in this industry because some, might have a hit song and just pop, it might pop and blow, get a good reaction, and someone might, get to that next level a lot faster than someone that's like constantly crafting and working on their craft. So you're giving constructive criticism is what the proper term I'm using. And that goes a long way for people, especially if they're trying to better themselves. And I was actually curious to ask, like, have you ever gotten any like negative traction towards like your constructive feedback?
Yeah. So quick thing before we do get into that part real quick.
Yeah.
I do want to say something about something that you said earlier. When it comes to when you see other people, like they're on their grind and you respect and everything like that. One of like the, I guess it's like an analogy, something along the lines of that I always like to say when people say that, just to bring everything into context, make people be able to understand it more, is that if you see someone on the side of the road and they're just sitting there with a broken car, most likely you're going to drive past them. You know what I mean? But then if you see someone on the side of the road pushing their broken car to the gas station, you're probably going to get out and help them push the car over.
Yeah, that's
like
a good
the chances
analogy,
of like helping that person because you see that they're trying to do something for themselves is much more likely to get help than the other person who's just kind of sitting there like, well, I mean, I guess I'm going to have to call AAA. You feel me? Like people who like sit there and get their own stuff done, you have much more chances of having other people help you because people respect seeing the grind from other people.
Very true. That's a very good analogy too to break it down.
Yeah.
Because I do see people on the side of the road, and I'm like, oh, that looks kind of complicated. I'm gonna keep pushing.
Yeah.
And then I have stop on the block, seeing someone push. I'm like, I'm not gonna let him do that by himself. Especially if you're in the position to help, it don't make sense to not help. But if you got a flat tire, you might be on your own. You know what I'm saying? But I'm fucking with you. But
hey, bro, I don't know. Wait, can we curse?
Yeah, bro. Do what you want, man.
I don't know shit about cars. I don't know shit about cars. If you sitting there, it could be like your alternator broken. Like you got something with your exhaust pipe. I don't know nothing about that.
Yeah.
But I know that if I see you pushing your car, I know how to push.
Yeah.
I know how to push. I can help.
I caught myself in that situation like just yesterday or the day before. Because the parking right here is on the street, so you got to pay for parking.
Yeah.
But when I pulled up right there, I seen someone like doing some maintenance shit under their car. I was under the impression they were changing their tire, and I know how to change tire. I might know how to do an oil change, but that's the most I might not know how to do. I'm not a mechanic, you feel me? But I seen him low-key struggling going under the car. And keep in mind, like this little section right here gets a little active, so we really don't know at certain times, like if it's safe to be there doing some shit, especially if you got all this shit out. So I just went up to him. I was like, bro, what's up, man? You need some help or something? He's like, you know how to fix the starter? I was the alternator or some shit. I was like, oh, I thought you had like a tire problem. He's like, nah, this shit mad complicated. I was like, oh shit, well, all right, bro. And then he's like, thank you, though. I was like, for surely. But, you know, I definitely hear what you're saying, though, on your point of view. Like, you know, if you are putting in that work and people can see it from a distance, it makes it more respect worthy. And on top of that, makes it easier for another person to contribute to your growth and your progress. So that's real, man.
But yeah, but going back to what you asked, I definitely have had like negative experiences with giving people constructive criticism and everything like that. But I will say, surprisingly enough, it's not as often as you think it is. Like, I've been doing like those videos for about like a year now.
Yeah.
It was actually like a year on Sunday, I believe.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, crazy. And I think I'm maybe like 2-3 people out of like the hundreds of people that I've like listened to and spoke about and everything like that. A couple of them recently they're just like, oh, how could you say that? How could you do this? Why are you saying this? You want me to sound like everybody else? And I was like, come on, bro. Like
you don't see the vision, man.
Yeah, I mean, apparently I don't. Yeah. You know what I mean? But the thing is that like with my constructive criticism, I always try to make sure it's constructive, though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I never sit there and just be like, oh, this ain't it.
Yeah.
That ain't doing nothing. That's being an asshole, bro.
For sure.
So like even if I do feel like that's not it, I actively try to search for something that I could give feedback on. You know what I mean? Because that's what constructive criticism is at the end of the day. And I'm not one of them people who just lets their opinions go out and try to mask it with constructive criticism. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, I ain't like it because it's loud or something like that. It's like, bro, that's your opinion.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But you're just trying to say it's constructive criticism because you don't want people to think you're an asshole.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Very true.
So I always try to make sure it's cool. And I think that's one of the reasons why I haven't gotten too much negative feedback from all that stuff. It's always like, hey, you kind of sound like Travis Scott on this song.
Yeah.
I would suggest to you to try to find your own sound or something like that. Something like that. Someone could take that and be like, you know what? I do be using like some auto-tune sounds from Travis Scott. Like they can see it with that. You know what I mean? And then they're able to take that constructive criticism and run with it. You know what I mean? I always want to give some to people that they can run with.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But I think that's super insightful, though. You know, it's like if you're going to school and you're trying to improve your essay with your English teacher, you know what I'm saying? She's going to give you constructive feedback on like your grammatical errors, your fragments, and all these specific things that are going to contribute to your learning process with what you're working on. It's the same thing with music. There is school for this shit, but how music is handled nowadays, it's all independently, you know what I'm saying? So there is no correct way to learn how to do things unless you're speaking to people who specialize in this type of thing and have, you know, direct knowledge to like what they see, you know what I'm saying? So I think what you're doing is super insightful for a lot of artists because they actually get to see directly what their issue is or what their strengths are or what their, you know what I'm saying? Like pros and cons, you get what I'm saying? Because it's important to be self-aware because, I was, doing my research on your content, people that you've interviewed, and I know you've mentioned you interviewed Sealy recently on Thizzler, and he was mentioning how some artists sometimes for them like they're not meant to be a rapper, but their passion for the music doesn't stop there. It could be formally introduced into something different, like producing, running an operation, being an A&R, doing something along those lines that still keep you involved with the culture, but it's not doing something that you're delusional about. You know what I'm saying? Because being a rapper is low-key easy if you really think about it. Like, I'm not saying like a good rapper. I'm saying like to be a rapper. It's easy as fuck.
I was about to say, bro.
What I mean by it is like you could literally look the part. You know what I'm saying? You could get the grill. You could get the fucking lyrics. You could get a writer. You could know what I'm saying? You could outsource your beats. You can literally do it all. I mean, and you see people that do like parody versions of rap. Like even though it's a parody, that's still rap, and they make it into some goofy ass song. But I'm like, that's how easy it is to do it. But you know, some people. There's a whole other level of that development for them. You know what I'm saying? Like they have a whole creative element. Some people, like the rapper I just interviewed yesterday, his name is Cola. He's from San Jose, and I get more of like a conscious hip hop vibe from him. And he's like more, you know that artist named Atmosphere?
Yes.
That song Sunshine.
Yeah, I've heard of it, but I don't remember
Sunshine is mine.
Because it was a long time. Like I went through I went through a conscious phase in like late middle school, early high school, and that's where I've heard that stuff.
Yup. Yeah. Same here for surely. But he was talking about when because he has these like archive contents that he puts on his Instagram, where he's freestyling. And he was breaking down what freestyle means now, because freestyle is different now. It's not like you're doing off of the dome. Sometimes it's like pre-recorded, it's pre-written, or some of the things of that nature that kind of take away of that raw, authentic version of hip hop. You feel what I'm saying? Because, you know, if you look back in the day, like you got Eminem doing freestyles in Detroit, in battle competitions, like stuff like that, that makes people's element of making music different. And I think that's what kind of defines, you know, the creativity of an artist, because some people are just, you know, putting pieces together and then just delivering a project, or some people are like, I gotta be at a place, I gotta be at a certain time, I gotta do, you know what I'm saying? Like everyone's creative process is different. So yeah, man, I don't know where I was going with that shit. I definitely going off subject right now, but you know what I'm saying, this is more of a conversational podcast. You feel me? Like I do have questions that I have aligned that I'm going to be asking you. But you know, I like to treat the podcast format like authentic. You feel me?
Yeah, definitely, bro.
Especially watching like Joe Rogan shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, I mean, I can't do it like Joe Rogan. Let's just be clear.
Joe Rogan,
not
different
yet.
Animal, bro.
He's a different animal. But
hey, keyword yet.
Yeah, exactly.
Keyword yet.
Yeah, and his podcast go for like 2-3 hours. You feel me? I'm like, I don't even think my data can handle that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of my podcasts range from like 30 minutes, the lowest, and the longest I've done is like 1 hour and 20.
Yeah.
So I try to keep it within the time frame, obviously depending on schedule and all that shit. But you know, this is definitely trial and error. You feel me? Like this whole process of creating a platform and making shows and making, you know, content, which I understand, you know, the content process is a little more how you say, not new, but it's something that you're doing now.
Yeah.
But that wasn't your entry level to what you're doing. It was more the music producing, correct?
So I was producing first, and then I kind of just realized that people didn't really care when I posted just like little type beats and with a rapper as the cover art on Instagram and YouTube and stuff like that. Like I noticed that people didn't care. So I had to sit there and kind of like reverse engineer. It's like, okay, how can I make people care about this? You know what I mean? And that's kind of like how I go about like a lot of the things when it comes to like my music business and everything like that. It's, I want this. How am I going to do this? And then just work from there. You know what I mean? So I was like, I want to sell more beats. I want to get more placements with artists and stuff like that. How am I going to do it? Okay, so the issue is when I post a fucking beat or something like that, nobody cares. So how do I get people to care? All right. So if I want people to care about me, I need to bring some type of value to them. You know what I mean? How am I going to bring value? And it just keeps on working itself out like that. Kind of like what you said earlier with trial and error. That's like one of the most undervalued skills in business in general, bro. Like it's way more important to just go and start doing something and then just keep on working it out until it works than to sit there and plan to do it for like 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 months or something like that. So I kind of just worked everything out in my head, and I was like, okay, I want to get more focus on my beats and placements with artists and stuff like that. How am I going to do that? I'm going to make people care about it. And then it was like, how am I going to make people care about it? Bring value to them. How am I going to bring value? I'm going to listen to their music. I'm going to react to it. I'm going to try to like make a platform for people to get their stuff off. And that's kind of like the whole process from start to finish to like how I got there.
It's a whole process.
It's a process, man. Like, and you know what's so crazy about that too is I say it out now and it sounds super complicated, but it was just trial and error. Yeah. Like I didn't think about it at first. You know what I mean? It was just like dang, ain't nobody care. And then I was like, okay, cool. I'm gonna start doing these videos and hopefully people will care about those instead. Yeah. And then after doing all that trial and error, I realized the stuff that I did. You know what I mean? And then it was like, oh, I was providing value. I was making content. I was being personable. And people were caring about me. And then since they care about me, they care about the beats and shit like that.
It all connects.
Everything worked together. You know what I mean? And then I was able to get the same work done that people were planning to. Like if I were to like just sit there and plan for like 3-4 months to get like a whole strategy behind, I was able to accomplish the same thing with more effectiveness by just doing trial and error. You know what I mean? It was crazy. It's crazy to think about it like that. No, I was just doing shit.
But I think one of the key things that you mentioned in your in the trial and error that you went through to get to where your understanding of your formula is the reverse engineering. You know what I'm saying? I feel like reverse engineering, you know, for the ones that don't know what we say, reverse engineering is like, for example, whatever successful thing that you see that you're trying to obtain, you look at it and then you break down how it got there from the very beginning. And then looking at those processes and being like, okay, what can I take away from these processes and apply it to my current standpoint and make it in my own, which is like I said, you created your own formula. That's the word I like to use, because like when you create your own formula, no one has the ingredients. You have to find out what that ingredient is to make that final recipe. You feel what I'm saying? So that's real, man. So how did you know that you wanted to do like the content leading to bring more awareness to your beats and your production?
Bro, I didn't know. It was just something I randomly thought of one time. You know what I mean? I was just like, or you know what? No, there's a production company called Cymatics, and they were just like doing like giving out tips and stuff like that. And they're just like, oh, you could do this, you could do that. And then he said like one thing, and I was all like, boom, and just sparked a whole bunch of ideas. It wasn't something that was just like sat there and planned out. I was just like, okay, that sounds cool. Let me try to apply it to what I'm doing. And then it goes back to the whole reverse engineering thing that I was talking about. You know what I mean? And then that's how it really got started. It was just like, hey, I need more attention to the beats. So let me do some for other artists and bring the attention back to me at the end of the day.
So let's unpack a little bit more of like, you know, who you are, because I know who you are. I've been following your content, you've been following mine, so it's like really easy to kind of flow at specific questions, you know what I'm saying? But I have an audience of people that this may be the first time that they've seen you or, you know, been introduced to your stuff. So how would you, you know, describe to a person that doesn't know who you are, what you do, and basically how you do it?
Yeah. Okay, so I'm Devin Mitchell. I also go by Infinite, or Powered by Infinite, and I just make a whole bunch of like music. And then I also make a whole bunch of content. You know what I mean? And I just think of myself as a creator. You know what I mean? At the end of the day. So I was born and raised in Sunnyvale, California.
Hey.
Like real close to here.
Okay, not too far away.
Yeah.
Okay.
Basically.
Sunnyvale like, get active though. Don't sleep on Sunnyvale. People don't know. Sunnyvale get active.
Yeah, I mean, it's all right.
I don't know. I was a time period when I was staying over there and I seen some shit pop out. That's
okay. In certain areas.
That's what I'm saying. Certain little tribes. You know what I'm saying? Because like I feel like San Jose, I can't really say San Jose is like active like that, but there are tribes and sections that you will find if you look for it. Of course.
Yeah.
But continue, my bad. Sorry.
I believe that. I've seen it there. But yeah, that's where I grew up, and then I kind of just started making beats just because I saw a video on YouTube of called Rhythm Roulette, was basically where they get a producer. They put them in a record shop. They have to pick 3 random records, and they have to like turn those records into a completely new beat.
I think I heard that before.
Yeah, so okay. I just randomly saw one of them videos, and just for some reason, producing was never an option in my head. Like I don't know why, but I just never thought of the idea of like, oh wait, there's people who make beats and then they do this and that and that. And then when I saw the video, like that whole world like kind of opened up to me.
So I'm sorry to cut you off, but before you got to that route, when you were like understanding that you can make beats, what were you doing before then?
Getting by life.
Yeah, just like
I was like working at Target, going to school, and then that's it. I was just kind of like just getting by.
Yeah.
Just normally, you know what I mean? I didn't really have any passions or anything like that. I always loved music since I was like a young kid, like mom playing R&B in the house and shit like that while we're cleaning. You know what I mean?
What kind of R&B was she listening to at that time?
Like Jill Scott, Lauryn Hill, all that stuff, like the classic
Jill
shit.
Scott.
You feel me? Tank. Joe, all that stuff.
Tank get you dirty, man. Tank get you dirty.
Hey, we was cleaning, dog. We was cleaning.
We was cleaning the house.
Chill. It was Sunday. We were cleaning.
That's real.
But yeah, damn, I forgot what I was saying. Oh yeah, I didn't really have no passions or anything like that. And I just saw the Rhythm Roulette, and I was all like, I should try that out.
Yeah.
And then I was going to De Anza. I got my I got the what's it called, the student loan money.
Oh yep.
Yeah, the student loan money, the financial aid.
Yep.
I got the financial aid. I was like, okay, I'm gonna get a cool little laptop. I'm gonna get some headphones, and then my brother's good with like computers and stuff like that. So I had him. Hey, don't do this, people. Hey, don't do this. but I had him crack and pirate FL Studio.
Oh,
so
okay.
I could
Fruity
use
Loops.
It. Yeah, Fruity Loops. Yeah.
Okay.
So I could start using it, and then I kind of just like got to work on beats. And in all honesty, I was completely trash. I still got the first video I ever made, a beat where I liked it. I put air quotations on liked because I liked it at the time, but when I look at it now, I cringe so hard listening to it.
Yeah.
It's just really bad.
I mean, that's how I felt when I looked at my first podcast. I did my first podcast with my best friend. Like, I was just like, let's just do it. You know what I mean? Like, in my mind, I was like, I got to interview people that are like, you know, doing a name for themselves, this and that. But I was like, before I do that, come on, dog, we gotta do it. You know what I'm saying? And then we just did it. But I look at it now, it's still on YouTube. I don't think people go through my shit, but if they do, go to the bottom, you'll see that shit. I was lucky to look at it. I was laughing because my boy was acting like he was like, oh yeah, bro, you feel me? We out here doing it. But he's really just like my homie. You know what I'm saying? So it was laughs. But I hear you though, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? To see where it came from to where you're at now, it's always good to see where you stand. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely.
So you were saying that, you know, that was your introduction to hip hop. It sounded like your mom playing music in the house.
Yeah, you know my mom and my brother too. My brother is like 8 years older than me, or something like that, and he just had huge music collection, and I would just always hear him playing music and stuff like that. He's like one of them like old school kind of like huge hip hop heads, like literally just hella CDs of like Big L, Big Pun, Nas, Jay-Z. Lunatics, all that stuff. Just like, you remember those book CD cover things?
You know what my brother got the same exact one. I was gonna say my brother's 10 years old too, so I was like, I know exactly what you're talking area about. Of hip hop you're talking about.
Yeah. So he just had them big the big folder things.
Yeah.
And then, like me being his little brother, he would let me listen to this thing, listen to the CDs. And without that, I probably wouldn't have gained the love for music. You know what I mean?
That's real.
If he would have just sat there and been like, man, get out of here, bro. You ain't touch my CDs. I probably wouldn't have the passion I have for music right now.
That's real. No, that's so real. Because I remember my brother used to, what he used to do is that he would buy CDs, of course. But, you know, I have a funny story. It's a random story. But my brother used to buy a hella CDs. If you actually turn around, you look at the wall, those are all actual CD covers from all the albums that he had. And I made them into a collage.
All the ones that you actually slide out?
They're actually slide out. Wow. And I took them out and I put them as a collage. Obviously, it looks kind of fucking weak as fuck because it looks like some paper mache and shit. But if you
get
look,
like laminated or something.
Yeah, you know what I mean? But if you actually look at them, those are some classic albums. You got, you know, Jaquan, you know what I'm saying? You got the Braveheart. You got Lloyd Banks, Pitbull when he was before he went international and shit. You got BME Click, Boys in the Hood.
Up there.
I even got some double XL covers up there when it was actually the thing to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, bro, I remember my brother, he used to make copies of shit. So when my dad taught me, my dad's a techie and shit, you know what I'm saying? He knows how to like make computers from scratch and all this type of shit. He learned that over time. But he used to burn CDs. He used to burn CDs, to burn DVDs. My brother used to have shit, right? So my dad had the skills of making copies. My brother had the creativity element of like what we like to listen to, what we enjoyed. Long story short, bro, I used to fucking make copies of each album, and I used to go around middle school and I used to flip them for $5. So I was the plug for the music, and eventually that introduced me to so many more people. And then that's when I realized like I love hip hop. Like I was like, dude, I fucking love this shit. Like I know every artist at the time from like 2007 to 2009, like, you know, who was coming up. I remember when Soulja Boy first came out. He was technically the first first artist to break the streams and shit, you know what I mean? And like leverage independent
I give him credit
rap.
for that.
A lot of credit for surely. But you know, at that time when people looked at Soulja Boy, they're like, what the fuck? You look like a character, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no. You know what they were saying?
Yeah.
This ain't in the club.
Yeah, this ain't in the club. You're tripping.
What's this you? This ain't Lollipop from Lil Wayne.
I just remember at middle school that everyone danced when that song came on. I don't give a fuck what anyone says. Everyone danced when Soulja Boy came. And honestly, they might still do that shit if you fucking play that song at the club. Yeah. Maybe not everyone, but I know for sure.
It's a classic.
It's for sure a classic. But yeah, bro. So I mean, I definitely got an understanding of like, you know, so you grew up in Sunnyvale, California. You got introduced to your love for hip hop and all that through your mom and your brother. So how you feel like the Bay Area has impacted that culture for you as well? Because you live out here, so you're kind of like in the Mecca. You're like in the center bridge between like San Francisco, Oakland, and South Bay. You know what I'm saying? So how did that play a role?
So honestly, it didn't at first because for some reason, when it came to music, when I was listening to it, like the ones I was like getting from my brother, I always gravitated towards like East Coast stuff.
Yeah,
I was listening to like a lot of Jay-Z and like Kanye West.
Yeah.
And like Wu-Tang and Nas. Like those are, I'm wearing a Nas shirt right now.
Shout out to Nas. I just dropped that album too.
I haven't checked it out yet.
You haven't? Ooh, first song.
Bro, because you know what it is, bro? When I sit there and I work on beats for 16 hours, 12 hours at a time,
music, huh?
I don't want to listen to music, bro.
No, that's a fair statement though. You know, it's like a football player if they pay for the NFL, they don't want to fucking do any exercise
ESPN and shit like that. After.
Yeah, they're probably over that shit.
Yeah,
no, that's real.
So I've been slacking on listening to albums, but
that's all good.
Yeah. But basically, I was just listening to a whole bunch of East Coast stuff. So when I started making beats and everything, I was making like old school boom bap. I was making like trap stuff. I wasn't making any Bay Area stuff because I just never really listened to it.
Okay.
But I kind of got into a couple opportunities where there was like small independent artists that, well, I mean, okay, they are small independent artists, but like they're like literally like, I want to make my first song. You know what I mean? And then they were giving me references of like West Coast stuff, and I was like, bro, I've never made West Coast stuff in my life.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I mean, I'll give it a shot. You know what I mean? I like being versatile with my production, so I'm like, I'm gonna give it a shot. I made the West Coast beats, and then gave it to them, and they liked it. You know what I mean? So I was like, okay, I mean, that works. Maybe I should work on West Coast stuff a little bit more. And then after working on West Coast stuff a little bit more and just like posting beats and everything like that, I kind of noticed that the Bay Area stuff got way more attention than like my trap stuff and like my boom bap stuff and everything like that.
Interesting.
And then it kind of like all clicked for me. I'm like, bro, I live in the Bay Area.
Yeah.
It's my demographic out here to make Bay Area beats. Like, that's my demographic. Like, why am I not sitting here like serving to my demographic? You know what I mean? Like, why am I making trap beats for people who are rapping over Bay Area beats? It just doesn't make sense. So when I realized that, I started doubling down on West Coast stuff way more. And then that's how it influenced my sound. And then now it's to the point where I love making West Coast stuff. It's like my favorite stuff to make. And that's like my prime audience. You know what I mean? So that's kind of like how it influenced me. It was just like all the people around me wanted it. And then I started doing it, and then I fell in love with it.
Because I wanted to say something, but I was holding on to the thought, and I was trying hard to like keep up what you're saying. So I was holding on to the thought.
Bro, it's so hard to do that because like as like an interviewer or like a podcast host, you're trying to be the best host you can and keep the conversation, but then you're also trying to think of the thing that you're gonna talk about next. It's so I've done it before. Like I'm working on my podcast right now. Yeah. Shout out Kicking It with Infinite.
Hey, make sure you tap in.
every Thursday. It's so difficult.
It's that, bro. Honestly, I've been doing it for a while, and I still have my my challenges and shit. Gotta put in that 10,000 hours. But the thing what I was gonna say though was that about the albums and how you digest them, because I think that's something that people don't talk a lot about. And I be having my conversations with people, and I'm like, bro, I hate when people give feedback on music, specifically albums, the day it drops.
Yeah.
Maybe even the week of. And the only reason I say that is because when it comes to like someone putting so much work into a project, they might even done a whole year on the project. You get me? And for someone to critique something off of one listen or maybe a few listens, I think that's low-key selfish. And maybe it's inconsiderate, because I feel like you got to digest that shit. You know what I mean? Like you're literally digesting what the album even means. Because sometimes, it might be an EP and it's just a dope tracks. Or it might be an album with a message. Like, like Kendrick Lamar, what is it called?
To Pimp a Butterfly?
Yeah, To Pimp a Butterfly. Or, what I'm saying? Like, I feel like The Pimp a Butterfly, I think it was Section 80, actually. Section 80, it was about a story about, what's her name? Keisha, or whoever the specific person that was affected, and then she was raped or whatever. Like, there's a whole storyline. Yeah. And, like, there's so many songs that led up to that storyline. So I feel like that's a whole digestive, when it comes to music. And do you perceive music that way, or do you perceive it a little differently when you digest it?
See, like when it comes to like putting my opinion on things, I'm always in the middle. Just
because
like I'm so like aware of things. Like I can understand both sides. You know what I mean? I can understand the artist side where it's like, bro, I spent like a whole year on this. Let it sit with you. Let it digest. You know what I mean? But then I also see the critic side where it's like. If it
ain't slap.
Shout out, if it's hot, it's hot. If it's hot, it's not. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but the thing is, like, I understand the critic side where it's like, if something is truly good, first listen, you should be amazed by it. You know what I mean? So, like, I do understand where you're coming from, where it's all like, it is selfish and inconsiderate to just hear something once or twice and then being like, it's not it.
I might have been too vulgar, but you're right though.
No,
right,
but the thing is, like, if something's really dope, we should know. Like when Section 80 dropped, not Section 80, when Section 80 dropped, but
all of them
when Good Kid, Mad City dropped, everybody knew that shit was a classic.
That very true.
And then later on, we're still digesting it, and we're still keeping up that name of like, this is still a classic. Couple years later, still a classic.
Yeah, still with Damn too. We're still waiting a new drop.
Oh, I'm so excited.
So I mean, you and I were both talking how we're both fans of Kendrick. We've been using a lot of examples with Kendrick, so I think this is a good little segue right now. So Kendrick Lamar has been out the mix for a minute musically. but he's definitely active behind the scenes. Just some like stuff I was looking into. I know he just announced his media production company, which I forgot the name of. Might want to pull it up just to make sure I don't, you know what I'm saying? Hold on.
Yeah, it's good.
It's called creative company. Oh, PG Lang.
Okay.
That's what it's called. It's called PG Lang, and basically it's like a media company. And I think that's where he's been doing this whole entire time. Like he's been creating something. And I feel like, I don't know when, you know what I'm saying? I don't know if he's going to wait for Donald Trump get reelected or if he's going to fucking, whatever the situation is. Because, you know, Kendrick Lamar has like a reputation of like being political and like, you know, chiming in on the world and society. Do you feel like he's going to come with some epic shit?
Oh,
or you feel like he's just like, maybe he's just working on something else? Like,
Kendrick doesn't miss. That dude does not miss when it comes to albums, bro. There's a couple songs where I'm like, you know what I mean? But like when it comes to like whole pieces of work, like he does not miss. And also some that like, he's kind of been like out the limelight, but people forgot that like he did the Black Panther album.
Oh
track.
For sure. He did like, that whole shit.
So like technically like when it comes to his catalog, I'm not counting the Black Panther soundtrack. You know what I mean? But he was so involved with the album that it took his time like it was one of his own albums.
Yeah. Did you hear how that played out though? Like that story?
Nah. What's up?
Like I heard that, you know, Black Panthers or whatever, Marvel, they approached him like, hey, we need a song for, you know, for a theme for this movie or whatever. And when he returned the project, he returned a whole album, and he didn't even give like a song. He gave a whole album.
Oh, no way.
And they were like, oh shit, here's the body of work. Boom. And that just fucking ended up blowing up.
Wow.
But he was so fucking, bro, I love the selections. I love how he acknowledged Northern California. Yeah. You feel me? He brought in Mozzie.
Oh my God. That SOB track goes legendary. So crazy.
I still slap that shit.
Bro, same here, bro. If I ever hear that shit come on in the club, like a different animal comes out of me, bro.
Bro. I swear, I started swinging my arms. I started doing the smees. Like,
is that I can't let that nigga bring.
No, that's real.
Oh my God, that shit goes so hard.
Out of all the dudes in SOB, who do you fuck with the most?
It's probably a tie between Du Bois and Young T.O.
Woohoo!
It's probably a tie between them two because like Young T.O. is like he has like the cool like smooth thing where he's like singing, rapping at the same time, and I can appreciate that because it's not very common for
it's
people.
His own sound.
Yeah, well, when he started it, it wasn't really common for people to do that.
Yeah.
I mean, there were other people before him and everything like that, but for Bay Area stuff, he's like one of the first people.
True.
And then Du Bois is so
fucking gas and shit.
He just gasses shit, and it's so unique and refreshing. Like the way he delivers his vocals, his raps and everything like that, it's just so refreshing to hear because it's just not like the normal stuff. And there's so much aggression behind it. There's so much character.
I love it.
It's like that. It's like you feel it way more. And just I just love like the grit, aggression, and just like character of it. You know what I mean? Like you feel it way more.
And you know what's crazy is that if you wanted them to remake that sound from like, you know, like the first couple years of them, I don't feel like they could because now they're grow. You know what I'm saying? That time period was like so significant in their lives. Like what they were dealing with was so fresh. So that aggression and like this real passion could really flow through the music like it did in the beginning. I'm not saying that their music isn't good anymore. I'm just saying like at that time period, I really felt it. Because every time I listened to the songs back then, as opposed to the newer ones now, I'm like, I still fucking feel like those vibes that he was really pushing through. But Du Bois for sure. Honestly, Du Bois and Slimmy B's for me. Like I fuck with Slimmy B pretty tough. Because I listened to all their tapes. You know how they all drop their own individual tapes and their group tapes. But Slimmy B and Du Bois lyrically are up there for me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Young T.O., I fuck with him tough too. Young T.O., but I definitely I'd probably choose Slimmy B just because I know when we with my boys and shit, we slapping, we going dumb on Slimmy B's verse and Du Bois' verse. So I'm like, damn, you know.
Oh no, everybody's super talented.
Everyone goes hard.
Everybody's super talented. It's like picking like the favorite Migo. You know what I mean? It's like they're all good. You know what I mean? It doesn't really matter who you pick. Like they're all solid. Like you can create a case that any of the SOB members are the best member.
Yeah.
You can create a solid argument that each one of them is like the best artist.
Yeah,
there.
I think one of them just got. I don't know if he got convicted, but I know one of them, the younger one, the light skinned one. I forgot his name, Lil G, I think. Yeah, I know he was in a little predicament recently when I was watching some of the article content, and then I was also hearing rumors that they were breaking up, and then they weren't. Like, you know, I don't even know what to believe nowadays.
I'm pretty sure they're broken up right now.
Yeah, there's so much information that's fucking. You know what I'm saying? But I know that The Boy and Slimmy B just dropped some recent music. I know actually I just downloaded one of their new tapes too. I haven't listened to it yet, but we'll give a response to that later.
Yeah.
So yeah, man. So I mean, do you have any stories out here in San Jose? Like, you've been out here for any reason?
I used to come out here to kind of like network and stuff like that.
Okay.
There was one situation where it was kind of just funny.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to say any names just because I don't want to put anybody on blast or anything like that.
We do it anyways, but it's all good.
But,
I'm playing.
But basically what had happened was there was like a group I was trying to work with and everything like that. So I would just pop up to their events and just like try to show love and just like really build that connection. Because in 2019, I really understood the value of networking in person rather than networking online. So right when I realized that value, I started double downing on it. So I was just going out to all these events and everything like that. So I hit up the person who was kind of like one of the head, like the leaders of the group. Okay. And I was like, hey, I'm finna pull up to this thing. He's like, oh yeah, it's good. And then I live out in Modesto now. And I drove all the way down here. I drove all the way down to Fremont and then dropped my stuff off and cooked up with my boy for a little bit. Then I drove to San Jose. I was there for maybe about 15 minutes. I didn't even get inside the club because apparently some shit popped off and like this person said this person did this and a whole bunch of different stuff. But all I know is that I just pulled up, paid for my parking, and then I got to the front of the club and just shit's popping already. Because apparently like fights were breaking out and everything. Okay. And I was like, I just got here. Like, I just got here. Like I already paid for parking.
What time of the night was this?
Bro, it was still light out.
Okay. So it was like 8, 7 maybe?
7-ish.
Okay. So it was like an early event going tonight. And it was already getting kicked out like that?
Basically. And then I got there and I was all like, hey, what's up, guys? And then they're like, bro, no, it's bad right now.
It's ugly. It's looking tight.
Yeah, and then they ended up leaving. And like I was like literally there for like 15 minutes. I was all like, bro, I really just drove all the way down here.
That sounds like a San Jose story.
Paid for parking, and then I had to leave because like niggas was out there trying to get wild and shit. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I still don't even really know what happened because like that just shows like how much like how like quick I was there. Yeah, I mean, I still don't even know what happened there. Yeah. I just kind of like pulled up. He's like, hey, what's up? Bro, it's bad. And then we cut. And
so what happened? Did they like put themselves in that situation or was it something beyond them?
I still don't know.
He's like, I still don't know.
It's like,
you haven't talked to him since then?
No, I have. But like, I'm not really a person to dive into personal stuff like that unless they're like leading it. You know what I mean? I don't really like being like, so what happened this time? It's like, nah, bro. It's like, that ain't my business, bro. I wasn't even there.
Ain't none of my business.
Yeah, but that ended up being cool because since I did that and all that stuff happened, they kind of looked at me and they're like, "Damn, he a real one for that." Yeah, like he he pulled up, drove like over an hour to get here, and then came for 10 minutes and then cut. You know what I mean? It's like so that they had like mad respect for me because I did all that shit.
No, that's real, bro. I mean, they should. I mean, I feel like anyone I see putting in effort to come out of their way to either help, learn, or meet, I'm definitely acknowledging that. So I'm glad. Shout out to those people that were still able to, acknowledge you for what you're willing to do. Because I feel like, if someone goes above and beyond, that should show you that they want to be here. You know what I'm saying? I know people that try to keep people that don't want to be here. Yeah. In certain scenarios, and I'm like, you're putting your energy into the wrong people. Yeah. And I think that's a common thing too in this, maybe not this industry, but industries that people put energy into the wrong people. And sometimes it could be timing too, you know what I mean? Like the someone that maybe not have the game figured out now might not make sense for them to give them the opportunity then, but when they figure it out and then they're introduced to the opportunity, they can make the most out of it. But, it is what it is, man.
But the thing is like when things like that happen, they feel like it's the right time and it's the right person.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? That is true.
And that's why people get like so fixated on that shit, bro.
Yeah, I mean, it leads to disappointment if you're on the wrong side of it. You know what I mean?
And like, dude, like opportunities come when they're supposed to come.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, I feel like timing is always perfect. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if something doesn't happen for you at a certain time, it's just because you weren't ready for it. There's so many times where I was making beats and I was trying to get songs to artists and stuff like that. And I look back now and I was like, bro, I was so underdeveloped as a producer myself that if I even got the chance to be in the studio with Mozzie, I'd make a fool of myself because I was so inexperienced.
I see what you're saying.
You know what I mean? And but at the time you couldn't tell me that though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I was so ready. Well, at least I thought in my head I was so ready. You know what I mean? But like skill wise, I wasn't there yet. You know what I mean? So even now when like opportunities come that miss, like I just don't worry about it too much now because I'm just like, you know what?
It's not meant to happen.
It's not time. It's not time yet.
I think that's a philosophy to carry.
It brings you peace too.
It brings you peace, and I think it kind of comes parallel with like Gary Vee says. Like, I watch a little Gary Vee and shit. I feel like everyone does nowadays.
Yeah.
But he says one of the things that talks about not having expectations, because that leads to disappointment. Mm-hmm. And in a certain aspect, it's like making sure if it happens, it's meant to happen, right? That's kind of like a little parallel in a sense because you're kind of like, if it happens to you, you knew it was going to happen. A matter of time. It's just a matter of being prepared for that moment. Mm-hmm. I think E40 says opportunity, he says history repeats itself, but opportunities don't. And I think that's a fire ass line
that's
because
hard. That sounds like an E40 line.
E40, you know what I'm saying? Definitely E40. But yeah, man, I think there's a lot of knowledge that people can learn from this podcast. You know what I'm saying? I think you were really insightful and just like the way you think about things, which I feel like a lot of people during podcasts need to talk about more. I mean, I need to unpack this more with people about how they feel and how they approach it and what's their thought processes. Because how you said, some people kind of just go. They're just on the go, which is in some cases better, you know what I'm saying? Or certain cases you kind of need to be a little more rational and calculate your decisions as opposed to like being emotionally led, Mm-hmm. But yeah, man. So right now, if someone wants to support you and kind of consume your music and what you've been producing, how can they do so?
Okay, so
he's like, this is what I've been waiting for.
This is my time, bro. All right, so honestly, like if you just follow me on social media, that's like one of the easiest ways. It's free. You ain't gotta do too much. No like a couple posts, that's it. You know what I mean? Because all that's no, chill. Oh, dude, so funny. Like random, I saw like a producer start like an OnlyFans. It was like a chick who it was a chick too, and she's like, subscribe to my OnlyFans. I was all like, she got an OnlyFans, and then like underneath it said, oh, you get like a free beat, and then like I'll listen to your music, and this I was like, oh, okay, that's the type of OnlyFans you're doing.
But you know what's crazy about that though is that OnlyFans, like, I feel like they made it sexual, but it's really
no, it's not.
I mean, I'm not saying it is sexual. Like the company said, oh, this is a sexual platform, but I'm saying like the stereotypes of it became sexual, like Twitter, like Instagram,
it absolutely
and shit.
Did, but it wasn't like the company's fault though.
Yeah, exactly.
It just so happened to be like that. Because I recently heard something on like another podcast that like the owner of it tries to support non-sexual things on OnlyFans way more. Like, do you know Timothy De La Ghetto?
Yeah, the Asian cat, right?
Yeah. You're doing like videos and shit like that.
Yeah.
They said like if he were to ever start like an OnlyFans, they would promote his way more than any of the sexual ones because like because like
they're trying when it comes I see what you're
family
saying.
Friendly type stuff, you know what I mean? So like if there is something sexual, you don't really need to promote it like that because people who are sexual are gonna like go to that no matter what.
Yeah, they're gonna find their way.
But you always need to promote for the family friendly side.
Very true.
I mean, because that's the side that doesn't really promote itself like that. You know what I mean?
That's true.
But damn, what was we talking about?
We were talking about OnlyFans. No, we were talking about how could they find you.
Oh yeah, shit.
yeah. No,
that was a quick left turn.
It's all good. It was necessary to highlight though.
For real though. All right, so the main platforms that I be on are like Instagram and YouTube. Instagram prod.by.infinite with 3 I's in the beginning.
We'll have a graphic too, so they'll be able to
perfect.
All that shit. I'm gonna throw it all in there.
Same thing with YouTube. And honestly, you could just go to the Instagram and then I make it real easy to make sure you can find all my other stuff. I've done things like release beat tapes on Spotify and stuff like that you can listen to. I release like packs and stuff like that are for free for producers. So like if producers need like sounds and stuff like that, I've released free stuff. I have some paid stuff too, so don't forget that part. I recently just dropped my first loop kit. That's my first paid product when it comes to producing and stuff like that. It's basically like pre-made samples. So like I just made a whole bunch of melodies and put it together, made it for producers.
So you sell it as like a package or something.
Yep.
And then people can like learn through their own craft through that package.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, basically.
Oh,
it's kind of like a little starter kit. So, cause like, you know, like old school music, they'll like go get like a Anita Baker sample or something like that, or like Kirk Franklin or something. Then they'll flip it. I basically kind of like make the thing that they're going to go flip. You know what I mean? So I try to create something like that.
I think online courses are hella valuable right now.
It's not really like an online course. It's like a package of sounds.
I got you.
That you get and then you
I got you.
You know what I mean?
So it's not a course, but it's definitely the value that you can use to help build what you're trying to build up.
Yeah, but speaking of courses, I'll be dropping tutorials on YouTube for free.
Free.
You know what I mean? I
for the F.
I be doing so many different things, bro.
Yeah.
That's actually one of the things I've been struggling with lately. Is just having my hands in too many different pots.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, I kind of feel like it's hard to really excel at some things because I'm like splitting, trying to learn too many different things. Like I'm trying to make beats right now. I'm trying to make content. Listen to people's music. I literally just bought a guitar.
Oh shit!
So I'm trying to learn that stuff too.
Damn, diversification at its finest.
Basically, man. But at the core, if you just go to the social media, you'll be able to have a pathway to everything. You know what I mean? So I just highly recommend going to Instagram, Prod by Infinite, and then we can run it from there.
All right, folks. Well, you heard it here directly. You know what I'm saying? What I need everyone to do that's consuming this content, watching this portion of the video, go directly to his Instagram. It's the best way to access everything. When you go, click the link, which I'm assuming will give you access to the package and all the other things that you offer.
Yep.
Make sure you click that. Look at everything. And if you are interested in evaluating and elevating your craft and what you're trying to do, make that investment. I guarantee it'll be worth it. I would not lead you wrong. Make sure you take advantage of that. And if there is more than 10, 20, 30 people watching this with you, make sure you refer all your friends. Make sure you guys stream all the content you can get access to on YouTube. And is there any other places that they can that I'm missing? You said YouTube, Instagram, what else?
YouTube and Instagram for the most part.
Okay.
I'll be on Twitter like here and there, but those are like the main parts. And also like Spotify, Apple Music.
There you go.
I'll be dropping like those like old school like lo-fi beat tapes and shit like that. So I mean, you can run them numbers up.
Yeah,
too.
make a new playlist. I'm gonna need you to make a new playlist. Add every single song, at least stream it 10 times each.
Yep.
Right now, we're trying to literally orchestrate and help everyone that's a part of this urban culture, because I feel like everyone we got. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to gentrification and things going on in the Bay Area, we're literally all we got. We got to support each other. But yeah, so I mean, that's the last thing I'm gonna add on to that. And any last minute words that you want to tell an inspired producer or someone that's along the lines of what you're doing and they're trying to go that route, what would you tell them right now?
Brad, just buckle down and work as hard as you possibly can. And with that being said, also work smart. Because I feel like a lot of people they say like, oh, like work smarter, not harder. Like, bro, do both.
Do both.
Do both. Make some sacrifices is good. Don't go out as much. I mean, we're in quarantine right now, but like don't like watch as much Netflix. Don't go out as much, and then just work on your craft. And like I guarantee you, it will be so much more satisfying when you hit like a year of just working really hard, and then you're able to see everything that you've done and how much you've grown. I mean, there's so many, because like I'm just personally obsessed with progression. So when I see progress and I see like all my hard work like pay off and everything like that, it's just satisfaction to like the next level. You know what I mean? So that's one of the things I would like to say to all these people out there. You know what I mean? Just work as hard as you possibly can, and do not be afraid to make sacrifices to really fund your passion.
Definitely, man. Passion, man. Make sure you chase what you got to do for your fulfillment. You know what I'm saying? What makes you happy. Make sure you do that. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule to come down here. Man. You know what I'm saying? Glad to have you on the Low Key Facts podcast. Last little Uber fact I'm going to give you is that EMLN is an acronym. It means early morning, late nights. It's supposed to represent hard work, dedication. So everyone I bring on the platform represents just that. So I'm glad that you were able to, shed the gems and match what we represent.
Love that.
But with that being said, it ain't exclusive. If it ain't an EMLN exclusive, this is the Low Key Facts podcast. This is your boy BQ and the homie Infinite, and we out.
Peace. We don't want these hoes, don't want the fame, we want the cheddar. Total we can have it all if we do it together. You know I'ma pass the ball, but only to my brother. You know I'ma pass the blunt, but only to my sister. I'ma pass the bottle, pass these hoes off to my niggas.